crowd at Adelaide International Raceway today for round 5 of the Shell Ultra Australian Touring Car Championship. At present we have the cars on the racetrack. For the Formula Vee main, Bernie Hanley has pole position. There is Bernie. Let's have a look very quickly. Hanley in pole. From position 2, Simon Hastings. From 3, Paul Tucker. From position number 4 is Bronte Rundle. From 5, Steve Wright. From 6 is Neil Corey. Out of 7 is Keith Poole. From 8 is Peter Ormsby. From 9 is Grant Pash. From position 10 is Judy Deering. From 11 is Mick Monterosso. And from 12, Brian Cutting. And we're just about ready to go racing, and Bernie Hanley has aboard his Toledo Tool Special, our RaceCam, hopefully to bring you some pictures this afternoon. Go get them, Bernie. And they're racing. Just look at the swarm of V's as they take off from the starting line, and the old vet from Sydney's Amaroo Park, having his first outing at Adelaide International Raceway, takes the inside groove as they work down the front straightaway. He's been gathered up quickly by Hastings, and there's RaceCam aboard Bernie Hanley's Formula Vee as he ducks down to the inside. They'll all come swarming at the Shell sweeper on the right-hander. Here they are going into the first turn. Bernie Hanley in second spot at the moment, but making a move here too. 25 is back in third spot. That's Steve Wright. He's made a brilliant start. In fact, he started out of position number 5 just in front of Bronte Rundle, no relation to Tam Arama. And as they come through the S's down towards the bowl for the first time, here's our second place driver, Bernie Hanley. This will give you an idea of the opposite camber through the S's, now onto the Speedway Bowl. You see the leader getting a little skew whiff there. Now onto Yokohama Straight. And the run down here to the right-hander at Motorcraft. First lap almost completed. They duck into the right-hander. And now it's power on all the way out of here on the longest front straight in the Australian touring car scene. Across the straight. Hanley sits in behind the race leader and now pulls to the inside as they come down the front straight. We'll probably get the favourable run now. Notice everyone pulling out of the draft looking for an inside run as they reach the Shell sweeper.
Have a look at this. The guys absolutely side by side as they went into the right-hander down the bottom. And Bernie dropping back out to third spot. Shots again from 7's RaceCam. Gee, it takes a long time to get to the other end in this track when you're in a Formula Vee.
It certainly does. But they are very, very good shots. And just look at them closing up as they come up towards the bowl through the S's.
Steve Wright just gets a little wide that time and drops the wheel into the dirt. Fourth car starting to get involved there as well. So Hastings covering his ground as quickly as he can. He knows that he's got Hanley behind him. He's just got a view of him from the rear view mirror on the right-hand side. You don't see too much behind these cars. Now Hanley on the inside. Paul Tucker in car number 64, the new generation Elfin, in fourth position. This is terrific. Out from behind the slipstream. Clear track in front. A waved blue flag tells him that there's plenty of other guys behind who are also attempting to pass. 4 across the track as they go to the right-hander at the bottom. Great. And sneaking through in car number 64 is Paul Tucker. Paul Tucker. How did he do that? Well, look at Bernie's car. He's got buckets of understeer and he's all out of shape.
Now he's dropped back to third on the queue as Tucker manages to stretch that lead. He really got away from them.
He needed the turnbuckle wrist that time, didn't he?
That wasn't a power slide.
More like a Dow slide.
Well, the amazing thing when we were watching them set up RaceCam yesterday is when they get to the bottom of the straight, they just don't back off. It's all gas. Now he's dropped back to fourth position. He's in behind Simon Hastings. He's the yellow car just in front.
They're sensational shots. Charlie Busby and our RaceCam team, of course, have been working away with the open wheeler boys here in Australia to try and bring you open wheeler shots. And I guess you've seen the Grand Prix pictures from time to time. Look like they've been coated with aeroplane jelly. A little bit different here today. And Bernie Hanley goes for the lead down on the inside.
He's jumped from fourth to first.
Well, has he? We'll wait and see. Look, he just flings it in. Top gear, a bit of a lift, gets it round.
Stand on a Bernie. Oh, gets it a bit sideways out of there.
These guys have all got the shifty eyes too. They just spend most of their time looking in the mirror.
Just look what's going on behind him though. Bernie's hit the front. The locals don't believe this. because at Sydney's Amaroo Park, Bernie can come from about 10 on the blocks with about 2 to go.
Not a bad slipstreaming act, but I don't think Bernie's short of horsepower either.
No.
Yeah, where does it come from? These things all have about 40 horsepower, can you believe it? Standard Volkswagen brakes, suspension, gearbox, engine, and very rigid controls on what they can and can't do to the rest of the motor car. Adds up to pretty good racing. Car number 2 in there as well, and that's Bronte Rundle. He's in second spot in the black car. Great shot of him.
Where do they all come from? There's 33 cars in this race.
I don't know, but they can follow the trail of the touring cars anywhere across Australia tonight. It's a bit of real racing.
They just multiply in garages around the country. So Bernie leads again at the bottom. This time challenging for second is Simon Hastings from New South Wales, car number 3. He's got car number 64 breathing all over him. That's Paul Tucker. Bronte Rundle drops back into 4th position. He was second, but don't blink. Car number 25's in there as well. That's Steve Wright. As I recall, he was up there mixing it 3 laps ago. He's been given the short back and sides.
Bernie might find himself just under a touch of pressure here. They come back onto the bowl. Yet again, they're closing up a bit behind the super vet from Sydney.
I just loved all the elbow wobbling before. It was lock to lock. Good stuff.
And here we have Bernie Hanley in the Toledo Tools entry, leading it through Motorcraft, coming back onto the start-finishing straight. And it's incredible, for as many years Bernie has been racing. I think it was after the last Amaroo Park round, as he finds his lead being taken away on the inside. And that's exactly what's happened.
Simon Hastings, the new leader. Hanley on the inside as they run down to the bottom. Somebody else has got... someone else. They've all gone through. 64 is the new leader. Paul Tucker, thank you. Is that Bronte Rundle just in front? Or Steve Wright? We'll wait and see.
I don't want to be a damn squib, but I thought that Paul Tucker actually had a bit of a roller at the start. Thought he might have copped a minute penalty. Perhaps the starter was looking the other way. Sport, might be a local.
Spoil sport.
As I was saying earlier, Bernie hadn't done much interstate racing. And I said to him after his last Amaroo success, why don't you get out on the trail and show a couple of these guys at other states?
You're to blame.
Yes,
I came down to Adelaide and he's lobbed in behind us. I thought we'd got away from him.
I know. So Bernie's going to take in Surface and a few of the other racetracks. And he's doing a good job here. We're getting some great pictures out of RaceCam. Back in 4th at the moment. He's led this race on a couple of occasions. Sounds like a series, it's only a race. Across the strike again.
Steve Wright's in behind Bernie. He'll have to watch himself because he's tucked right underneath the gearbox of the car.
Look at Bernie trace him. He's right behind him. Pulls out of the slipstream here.
The shifty eyes are in business again.
Here comes Bernie storming back down on the inside. He's taking 3 with him for the trip, but he better watch out down the inside. There could be a blue car arriving here shortly.
I tell you who else who's
there. He is.
Who else has got a piece of the action? That's Peter Ormsby in car number 1. It's a red car. You'll spot him shortly. He's bought into it. There's about 7 cars battling for the lead at the moment. No, make that 20. I'll take a dozen. So the leader is Simon Hastings. And it's Paul Tucker in behind. He's in car 64. It's the darker of the 2 yellow cars. 25 in 3rd is Steve Wright. Behind him, Bernie Hanley in 11, carrying RaceCam. And I think it was Bronte Rundle, the next driver through.
Let's confuse our director and ask for some gaps.
They work Yokohama back straight, coming down to Motorcraft. As they swing into here, Hastings carts them all a little on the wide side. They're coming up for the last lap board, so this is going to be a hell of a finish. Look at them all tucked in, waiting for the big run at it down the front straight to the right-hander. It's the moment of truth now. Who's got it left on the inside? Bernie sits one out. They're going to try and go in here 3 abreast. The final lap might well be right. Oh, what an approach shot. That was better than Nicholas.
Steve Wright's the new leader in the blue car.
Hanley finds himself running 3rd on the road at the moment. Wright will lead them down to the Bridgestone S's.
You'll have to be a miracle worker, Bernie, to win it from here.
Yep. He's given us an exhilarating ride around Adelaide International Raceway today. They come back onto the speed bowl for the final time. There's only got one more continuing right-hander to go after this short straight. Bernie setting her up. An impossibility to pull out past these guys before the finishing line. He's going to make a little duck down here on the inside of 64. They close it right up. What a race. Nose to tail, out of the last bend. 25 is going to lead them across the line. They all jump out of the slipstream at the last moment. No, still one to go. Still one to go. I tell you what, this isn't over.
No way.
We saw the last lap board come out only a moment ago, but Bernie...
Rundle goes through. Somebody's been carted out wide in that big carve-up. And it looks as though it may be Simon Hastings who's snuck through this time in car number 3. There's an associate of ours says the yellow car's leading from the black car. Rundle up into second place. Then Bernie in third.
And just behind Bernie,
Paul Tucker, 64.
Yeah, he was locking a break up.
Then a one-time or two-time leader, I think it might be, and that's Steve Wright in 25 in the blue car.
Coming down into the oval exit, and they should get the last lap board this time. And everyone has just gone bonkers here. Here's Hanley making his run down the outside. Oh, how close is he? And he might well do it. He's timed this well, providing no one arrives underneath him. They're not going to at this moment. Once again, they work the Bridgestone S's.
Now, this is amazing. The guy that was leading, Simon Hastings, and this was only like 30 seconds ago, is now back in 6th position. It's ridiculous.
I tell you, in the confusion of all of that, when they were making a run at the flag, the earlier heat race this morning was 8 laps, and the poor guy with the signals has jumped out with the last lap board and forgot it was an extra 2 for the main. However, they're coming down shortly as they work the back straight. They'll take the checkered flag this time. The last corner comes up. Sydney's Bernie Hanley, RaceCam aboard, comes out, hand in the air, and the Toledo Tools man wrenches on a win here today at Adelaide International Raceway. What a great finish, and some outstanding pictures coming from Bernie Hanley's RaceCam. Let's recap the placings for you in the Coca-Cola Formula Vee race. Bernie Hanley takes the win. Bronte Rundle is second. Steve Wright third on the Castrol scoreboard. And welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway. Well, Bernie Hanley got across the line convincingly in that scrap, but right at the tail of the field, we had one car just clip the wall, and that was Peter Arnold in 45, the Stag. There's the remnants of Peter's car. Fortunately, though, he's okay, but it did cause a bit of a kerfuffle. Took a while before he took the full weight of the car on his melon for about 30 seconds until the crew arrived, but he's okay.
Well, I was going to trade my stopwatch for a feeler gauge to try and get gaps on all those guys there in the last couple of laps. It certainly was very, very exciting indeed. Formula V action. By gee, those guys turned it on for us no matter where we go. Terrific stuff.